Hey guys, Jimmy TR here. As you know, I grew up in the 80s, and one thing that particular time period in history excelled at was excess. Moderation was not in the collective mindset at all, and this was most evident in the action films of the time, particularly when talking about the martial arts ones. I mean, they were everywhere. By 1988, we'd seen The Karate Kid, American Ninja, a whole bunch of Chuck Norris films, and a slew of imitators. Then, Jean-Claude Van Damme came along. This is Bloodsport.
Movies ruined me. Explain it. Fucking chuckling. I didn't say it was a good thing. No. Wait. There was a piano back there? Oh, what the hell? Why are you trying to make sense of this thing?
Now you're just trying to hurt my feelings. You gotta laugh.
In the late 80s, Bloodsport was to adult martial arts films what The Karate Kid and each sequel were to the family-friendly ones of the day, kind of the litmus by which you measured all the others. Despite being based on allegedly true events,
Don't worry, this will be addressed in depth later.
it lacked the genuinely serious tone of the Bruce Lee films that came before it, and at the same time, it upped the ante on things like sex appeal, violence, and absurdity. And that being the case, it is no wonder that most of the martial arts films that follow Bloodsport are completely ridiculous, unfocused messes. Okay, not that one. Okay, not that one either. So anyway, Bloodsport. Look, I get it. My point is that back then, absurdity was the rule, not the exception. Stop that! The opening of the film is a montage of sorts, introducing all the fighters we will see throughout the film. They hail from all over: China, the UK, Africa, Korea, Brazil, and Los Angeles.
Jax, you really going to Hong Kong?
I love anything with full contact. Need a few more scars on my face.
I heard you can get killed at that Kumite.
Only if you fuck up.
And only nerds fuck up. Yes, Jackson is played by none other than Don Gibb, probably best remembered for his role as Ogre in the Revenge of the Nerds series. Moving on. The opening credits continue, showing a fighting ring in Hong Kong. We are then introduced to Frank Dukes, played by Jean-Claude Van Damme himself.
The Colonel Cook would like to see you before you leave on furlough.
What's the problem?
The Colonel found out you're going to Hong Kong. He wants to talk to you about it.
Tell him I'll be right there. After I take a shower.
But I'll have to wait, sir.
Okay.
5 shadowing strikes again.
Dukes takes off, and the lieutenant, rather than pursuing him, goes to report the escape to his commanding officer.
Sir!
Where's Dukes?
He was at the gym like you said. He took a shower, I waited, and he disappeared.
What do you mean he disappeared?
1 minute he was there, next he wasn't.
Jesus Christ. If anything happens to Dukes in Hong Kong, get Helmer and Rollins on this right away.
Are you seriously telling me that they redubbed this very minor character's dialogue, but they left Jean-Claude Van Damme's in? Are you serious? Now cut to Dukes appearing at a Shidoshi's home. Hang on. In the last scene, we were at Camp Prairie, which is a CIA facility outside of Williamsburg, Virginia. According to Frank Dukes' biography, he grew up in the San Fernando Valley, which is in California. That means that in one scene change, without any establishing shots, he's traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast without even an attempt to account for any of the time passed in between. Fucking inexcusable. Absolutely
Lazy.
Anyway, he walks in the door, sees a sword, and it triggers a flashback. Short version, he and his friends break in to steal something. Frank gets cold feet and decides to replace the fallen sword rather than steal it. Then he gets beaten up by a kid half his size, and Lao Che here attempts to impart a lesson of courage to him by nearly beheading the kid.
You didn't flinch. You have fighting spirit.
If you've ever played Super Godzilla for the Super Nintendo, you know damn well that possessing fighting spirit doesn't mean a whole lot. So Lao Che makes a deal with the young dukes for him to assist in his son Shingo's martial arts training, and in return the police won't be involved in the attempted burglary. Training doesn't go so well for Frank.
Why don't you quit, Round Eye?
But he later proves himself by defending Shingo in a schoolyard fight.
Someday, I'll fight in the Kumite and make my father proud.
Not by fighting like that, you won't, kid. Now, years later, Shingo is dead. Come on! The only indicator that any time has passed is that now we can see Van Damme and hear a lot of exposition through a really thick French accent. Excuse me, Belgian. Which is French. Here's the next montage. Frank convinces Lao Che to train him just as he would his son, in order to honor Shingo's memory. Basically, he learns to serve tea blindfolded, grab fish, and do the splits. A little help? And so he graduates with flying colored wounds, and the flashback mercifully ends. Lao Che is sick, probably dying. Frank tells him that he's going to Hong Kong to fight in the Kumite, a full-contact, supposedly secret tournament. Soon after, he arrives in Hong Kong, and wastes no time, pitting himself in a game of karate champ with Jackson, whom he easily defeats. The two begin their sordid bromance right on the spot. 2 CIA investigators show up at Lao Che's house in an effort to track down Frank. All they learn is that they are 2 days behind him, even though it was known prior to his going AWOL that he was headed to Hong Kong, making this stop on Frank's trail an utter waste of time. Oh, I'll get to Forrest Whitaker's annoying character later. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong...
Are our rooms ready?
Mr. Lin in room 310 wants to see you after you check in.
Who the hell's Mr. Lin?
I'm Lin. You Jackson? You look like a Jackson. That will make you Frank Dux.
No. It's Dukes.
This guy Lee amounts to a chaperone/manager for the North American fighters during the Kumite. He's a very likable character and one of my favorites. Lee takes Dukes and Jackson to the venue the Kumite is being held at.
Okay, USA.
Again!
Okay, USA.
Again!
Okay, USA. Okay, USA.
I guess that's the Chinese version of jive.
Okay, guys. First, you can show the Black Dragon boys your invitation. Then, you gotta qualify and prove to them you can step onto the runway and not get killed.
He says Senzo Tanaka is his Shidoshi.
What's the difference if Bruce Springsteen is a Shidoshi?
If Senzo Tanaka is his Shidoshi, then show us the Dimmak.
What the hell is a Dimmak?
Death touch.
What?
Death touch.
Huh? So Frank performs the Golden Arches technique and proves his worthiness.
I'm loving it.
Meanwhile, Tweedledee and Tweedledum hook up with a very uncooperative police captain in Hong Kong.
Look, Inspector, all we want you to do is pass this picture out to your men. They spot Dukes, they give us a call at our hotel. Simple.
My men are already overworked.
Hey, if it's too much trouble, forget it. We just thought that it's
Inspector, we're all overworked. But we need your help.
I'll see what can be done.
Let's just say that once you've seen one of Whitaker's scenes in this film, you've seen them all. Back at the hotel, Frank places a friendly wager on the ownership of an American woman. I'd call in Diamanda Hagen on this, but I'll save her the time by saying that this lady is Bloodsport's Dale Arden, only worse. We learn that she is a reporter, and that's about it. That's okay, though, because...
The Kumite Express leaves in 5 minutes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The opening ceremonies explain the history of the Kumite in quite honorable detail, but it amounts to this. This is the first international Kumite, and if you win, you're awesome. Also, this honorable tournament apparently has an even point spread.
Now remember, it's full contact. There are 3 ways to win. 1, you knock the guy out. 2, the opponent quits and shouts Mate. It's like saying uncle. 3, you throw the fucker right off the runway.
Piece of cake.
Let's get ready to rumble. Who am I kidding? The fights begin.
That's why they call this thing Bloodsport, kid.
Jackson takes his first victory and immediately talks trash to the reigning Kumite champ, Chong Li, played by Bolo Yeung, whom you may remember from Enter the Dragon.
What's going on?
It's Chong Li, the current champ.
He's never been defeated. Those awesome records, including the fastest KO. He killed a guy during the last Kumite.
Ah, Chong Li has victory in the palm of his hand. What? Frank also has his first bout and victory.
First fight in the Kumite, he broke the fucking world record! Yeah!
Now I can just see Don Gibbs' agent pitching this role to him. Man, see, you play Jackson as Frank Deuce's best friend, see? Most expository dialogue in the film, huh? Man, see? No refunds or stages, see? Time for a Stan Bush montage. Meanwhile, in CIA land.
Inspector Chen. What a pleasant surprise. Please join us.
No, I never eat here.
Pwned.
Frank Dukes is at the East Lake Hotel in Kowloon.
Thank you.
So, based off Inspector Chen's lead, they go to the hotel to capture Frank.
Okay, Dukes. You know why we're here.
Taking you back, Frank. Let's go.
Who the hell are these two scumbags?
Just stay out of it, pal. It's not your business, okay?
I ain't your pal, dickface.
Looked in a mirror lately, Jackson?
I'll be in the airport in 2 days. Frank, read my lips. We are taking you back now.
Cue yet another montage where Dukes evades the agents in what seems to be an inappropriately light fashion. Although mildly entertaining, it really breaks up the pace of the film and kind of paints Frank as a real asshole. He could have easily evaded them, but he felt the need to humiliate them and set up this obvious gag. In the very next scene, Dukes has dinner with the aforementioned reporter, who, after practically begging his assistance in gaining access to the Kumite, promptly has sex with him, only to show up on the arm of a deep-pocketed spectator a few hours later. Scruples. She has none. Cue more montages! Frank keeps winning, as does Chong Li, and everyone else more or less gets tossed aside, until... Never mind. A few victories for the main characters later, Jackson goes up against Chong Li and nearly gets killed because, rather than fighting, he acts like a complete jackass.
Keep going! Keep going!
Thank you! Thank you, Jean-Claude. Naturally, they take Jackson to a top-notch Hong Kong hospital, where Jenny and Frank have a pointless argument that solves nothing, and pushes the plot forward in no way except to set up Lee as the sole voice of reason in the film.
You're blowing it, Frank. Forget about the girl. Forget about getting back at Chong Li for Ray. You have a chance to take it all tomorrow, do you understand? You can be the first Westerner to win this thing.
Later, Jenny tips off Inspector Chen to the Kumite's whereabouts in an effort to save him from harm. However, she has no way to save him or us from the next montage. Ultimately, instead of saving Frank, Jenny manages to put a dozen or so Chinese cops in immediate danger when Frank beats them up in order to get to the Kumite arena.
The last warning, Frank. Inspector, no. Gotta take him back.
Frank, could you give us a break here? We've been chasing you all over Hong Kong. Can we stop this?
Okay, Frank, you win. But it's wrong what you're doing. It's a mistake.
What the fuck? What is the point of these two characters anyway? They're 100% contradictory at all times, and not even in an entertaining way. They're utterly incompetent in their pursuit of Frank, and on top of everything else, they bring absolutely nothing to the story, actually bringing down what little depth was inherent in the story in the first place. And in the time it took me to deliver that rant, which wasted more of our times, Chong Li killed a motherfucker. Look! Jeez. The officials collectively turn their backs on Chong Li for dishonoring the tournament, yet they do not disqualify him from fighting Frank in the championship match. That makes sense.
You are next.
Short version. The fight swings both ways and is fairly epic, I must say. Then, once Frank is clearly getting the upper hand, Chong Li cheats by blinding him. Here's where the fight descends into utter absurdity. Chong Li beats the snot out of Frank since he can't see. This clearly frustrates Frank to the point of complete madness. Sorry, you lost me. You had me at ah! I was a little distraught by ah! But you're totally going out of left field with the ah! Just want to make that clear. Hey, Chong Li, while he's finding his center in slow motion, how about you just walk up and trounce the guy? Anyway, a few well-executed, if indulgent slow-motion kick shots later, Frank defeats Chong Li, adding insult to injury by making him submit. Yay!
Mr. Dukes, you fought with inspiration. We of the Kokorukai salute you.
This is for you, Shidoshi.
Frank returns to the hospital to check on Jackson, who is nursing his severe concussion with beer.
By the way, next time you fight, try to keep your clothes on.
Hey, here's an idea. How about always keep your clothes on?
Anytime, any place, anywhere. If you ever need me, I'll be there.
I'm just glad you're on our side, kid.
That was Bloodsport. Okay, here's the deal. Frank Dukes is a real person who, in addition to the sensational events portrayed in the film, claims to have at one point been a covert CIA operative, among other things. I have done a fair amount of research, and as far as I can see, the most basic facts surrounding this tale are probably true. Frank Dukes probably did serve in the military, if not the CIA. He probably did fight in the Kumite, broke a lot of records, and won. Anything beyond that is up for debate, and at this point, I frankly just do not care. The movie is great whether it's true or not. It's just plain fun, and in my experience, a fun movie usually rules. See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.